For you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic, phenomenal, insert all the descriptive words for a great show. Brews and Q, we back at it again. I am the hostess with the mostest, Mr. GQ.
And I am the stepdad in training, DJ Micah B.
Hey, I like that. Came and Jack for me today. You know there.
So. You love your Cayman. You know, I got one I ain't had in a while.
Amelia.
Yeah. I'm happy you know how to say it because I was like, yeah, something like that.
No, I like that. All right, so we got this thing going. We got these picks ready to go.
Before we start, man, how about that episode of SmackDown last night? I was looking at it and I had to go on Peacock and just kind of watch most of it.
It was good. I need to go back and watch it because I missed some bits and pieces because last night me and my brother had we got on Battlefield together.
Oh, very nice. I need to go ahead and go.
We was on that thing till almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
Shit, I went out to Island Spice with Candace, man. We got home damn near 3 o'clock this morning. It's an hour drive to Katy, you know, so
yeah. Good stuff. Let's take a look here. So of course we've seen what our wrap looks like, which is obviously the most important thing. Wow. We already have 12 plays on episode 2 for season 4. And this episode was just published a day ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, hey, not a day ago, a couple days ago, but still, that's good. I know I just finished re-listening to it yesterday. It was one of our cleanest audios. Like there wasn't a lot of like off stuff. Like I was like, all right. There's a couple of instances where it's like a little bit of far away stuff, but not near what we normally would put out, you know. Yeah. So even still, I listen to other podcasts and I hear little things like that all the time. So I'm like, you know what? It's not just us. No big deal.
I mean, when you do a podcast and you record it live and not in an actual studio, that is going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Until we make some adjustments. There's some things that we're looking at that I would like to get for us to surround it with our microphones. It'll probably fix a few of that stuff. But So on December 1st, we had 7 streams.
Very nice.
So I guess people was really into it on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a good last couple days for us.
I'm trying to tell you, people, as soon as some episodes dropping the next day, people listening.
Yeah. Hey, the listener spoke. That's why we picked up on that real quick.
Yep.
All right. So, of course, we know, unfortunately, my New England Patriots lost in sad fashion, but it's okay. It's okay. It is okay.
I mean, I'll say this. For what it's worth, I don't hate the Patriots, but I hated them this week. And the reason why I hated them this week, they limited Josh Allen's ass. Josh Allen's been scoring 40-plus points in fantasy. I think this is like his second lowest output in fantasy this season.
And despite that, here's what I know from watching this game. Once we get an actual offense and an offensive coordinator, we'll be able to beat the Bills. Because, one, we were able to sack and strip Josh Allen. And Josh Allen was in, like, now I ain't gonna lie, that touchdown he threw to Gabriel Davis was beautiful.
You and this, you see, you and another smart pickup with this man. Didn't I say on the podcast? I was like, Gabriel Davis is gonna score.
Hey, he threw that ball with like a big toenail away from being out of bounds, and Gabriel Davis with the wherewithal to come back inside because for some reason the corner just like, I'm just gonna stand here. I was like, that's not a very Bill Belichick defense type of thing, but I do think
he got chewed out after.
Yeah, but I hope as we get better with this offense, that we start throwing them on actually are a threat to score more. I won't be surprised if over the next 2, maybe 3 seasons, if our division gets even more competitive. It's already competitive, but it's already competitive. But I don't think the Patriots are out of it as far as like in the mix of teams. Like I think our division is probably still one of the most competitive divisions in football.
It's going to, you know, for all the flack that we gave the AFC West coming into the season.
Yeah.
It's really the AFC East that still prevails as probably the best AFC division.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, because the AFC West is, I mean, the Broncos. Are the Broncos beating anybody in the AFC East right now? Are the Raiders beating anybody in the AFC East right now?
Not even the Patriots. And the Patriots, I believe, are in last place in their division.
Yes, by record, yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're 6-6 because the Jets are 7-4, Bills are 9-3, and the Dolphins are 8-3. So
Who we
even if
missing? Is the Chargers in the
no
in the A?
in the AFC East, no.
No, in
AFC
the
West.
AFC.
Oh no, that's the Chiefs and the Chargers.
Yeah, okay. Well, we know.
I just named the two bottom teams. I went the Chargers. Chargers
Well,
have a chance.
I still think everybody in the East could beat the Chargers too. The Chargers are a little they're a little too inconsistent for me, and they give up plays, man. If we know one thing about Bill Belichick, he'll run the ball down your throat as long as you allow him and hit them backs. And that's an Achilles for the Chargers right now. So
well, they definitely give up plays in the run game for sure. But all right, let's take a look at these picks. So let's see, coming up with the early slate. You've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. That one should be interesting. I went with Pittsburgh last week because I liked what they were doing. Huh?
Give me a better coach than Mike Tomlin.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. This is. It's not going to be a good game. I can live without.
The game is in Atlanta. It'll be interesting, but I feel like the Steelers can do just enough to pull this game out. Najee Harris is supposed to play still, so that keeps things into a certain perspective too.
Falcons, surprisingly, the Falcons, for what it's worth, the Falcons actually don't look as bad as I thought they would have looked this season.
No, they don't.
A pretty competitive team. They can beat anybody on any given day if you let your guard down.
And they're still in the mix for the division title right now.
Yep. Mariota can still move.
Yeah. So, all right. Second up on the slate. This is a tale of two teams in the Baltimore Ravens versus the Denver Broncos. At the beginning of the season, when the schedule came out, this for me would have been one of the most exciting games I would have circled in Week 13. Obviously, now I probably won't even watch this game.
Well, speaking to the Broncos, let me ask you a question real quick. It was stated that, Sierra had a birthday party for Russell Wilson and only half the team basically showed up.
I don't even know why that story was posted.
I don't know why that just tell. No. The reason why I bring it up is just to tell you how hard the Broncos are looking for storylines right now, or how hard their media's looking for storylines right now, because they're not giving them shit to talk about. And the defense is playing well. Patrick Surtain and them is playing. That offense is atrocious.
They are atrocious, anemic, bad, trash, whatever descriptive word for bad you want to use. They are just terrible.
The rest of the bottom of the dumpster, all man.
It's like you're talking about an offense that should easily be putting up 28 points a game, and they're not.
So the question is it Russell Wilson?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I'm genuinely not sure. I'm gonna say he has a part of it. He is a part of it.
Oh yeah, he got to be a part of it. He's the quarterback.
Do I want to say he's the brunt of it? We've seen quarterbacks play in spite of, rookie coaching or lack of weapons. But Russ don't have a lack of weapons. So I don't know, but I'll give the Ravens in the game. I can't pick the Broncos in any game. Maybe against the Raiders, but the Raiders still pulled that beautiful win off. Two walk-off style overtime wins in the last 2 weeks have been just a crazy sight to see.
It is.
Josh Jacobs has been, Josh Jacobs. He's been that guy.
A man on a freaking mission, dog.
That walk-off 86-yard touchdown, somebody's fantasy team was excited.
I think that's the longest walk-off run play ever.
It might be, hell. We got another division game on deck. We have got the Packers versus the Bears. Justin Fields is supposed to play. So is Aaron Rodgers, apparently.
No surprise there on either one of them. And I want to see my uncle cry.
Yeah.
I do want to see my uncle cry. So, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay.
I'm picking with my heart, not really to make my uncle cry. I'm picking my quarterback, Justin Fields from I don't even got to finish that.
Yeah, no, I'm a stick with Green Bay. I think I like what Green Bay is kind of doing. They're kind of finding their footing. Um, I hope anybody but Christian Watson goes off because I'm playing against Christian Watson this week in my money league. So you know, Romeo Dobbs, anybody else, Robert Tonyan, if y'all want to go off, please do so. But you know,
Oh, see, look, I hope Alan Lazard goes off.
I'm good with that.
I hope Alan Lazard is actually Alan Lazard for all the Packers' woes. He's been the most consistent player on the team besides Aaron Jones.
When healthy, absolutely.
Aaron Jones should have a big week this week too.
Oh yeah. What could go down arguably as actually, well, probably will go down as a top 3 highest scoring game this upcoming for this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions.
I picked up Christian Kirk in CJ's league just for this freaking game.
I'm starting Zay Jones, but because he's my guy.
He is your guy for sure.
But I'm also starting Amon-Ra St. Brown in CJ's league.
I was just about to say, St. Brown is gonna have a good. I think both. If you got any of the number ones, maybe even number twos at receiver.
And I think if you have Travis Etienne or Jonathan Williams Jonathan Williams, you got a Jonathan Williams. Is that his name? The running back. Yeah.
I do think this would be probably the number 1 scoring combined. Now, which team?
I don't think that. I do think it'll be a top 3, but the highest scoring game that I think combined is one of the games I'm going to announce here in a little bit. But I think will be that one for sure. But that one's going to be top 3. This one might come down to.
What a dumpster fire of a game. Give me Jacksonville.
Okay. I just want to know if Jacksonville's mascot gonna pull up in the Speedo again.
Jacksonville mascot is the best mascot in football.
That shit was hilarious. I was like, bro, this man is in a whole ass.
I seen them pay grades for mascots, bro. We in the wrong business.
I'm telling you, because him in the Speedo, that shit was hilarious. I was like, this is actually happening in an NFL game. Like, this is really happening. But I'm taking Jacksonville as well. Next game we got on deck, the game that we should have been attending, we should have got tickets for, the Browns visiting the Texans.
The game sold out because it ain't too late.
Well, I got some things going on, but I wanted to go to this game. But Deshaun Watson's first game back, ironically, because the NFL is smart in what they're doing, it is against his former team. Now, for those in fantasy, temper your expectations as far as if you're starting Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, even my guy Donovan Peoples-Jones, I would still temper your and David Njoku if he plays. If you have Nick Chubb, please fire him up immediately.
I did.
If you have Damian Pierce, I would fire him up too, because this is probably going to be the game of the running backs. Now, I'm not saying Deshaun won't throw. I won't be surprised if Deshaun Watson gives you like a 18 of 24, 200 yards, and maybe a touchdown type of first game stat line. Like, don't be surprised if it's something like that.
I think I said on the podcast with like 225 and 2 touchdowns, maybe. That's kind of like the ceiling. But I'm more in the realm with you of what he's actually going to put up.
Yeah.
I think Nick Chubb will have multiple touchdowns this game.
I need that.
Runs it in, doesn't matter.
I needs all that.
But Deshaun has been practicing for a while, so I'm pretty sure he's got some chemistry with Cooper and the boys. But I mean, he's been seeing the same defense over and over again in practice. Now he actually has to go out there and perform against a defense that he doesn't see. He's been out of game shape for a while, I would assume. I don't care how much practicing you do, you can never adjust to the speed in practice.
Yeah, and I mean, and don't get me. And then as far as fantasy goes, the Texans' defense has been pretty stingy to quarterbacks.
They have.
Obviously, in actual football, not entirely the case, but
they've only been stingy because they've been giving up short fields. That's really good.
I mean, either way, call them stingy if you want, but 1-9 and 1 ain't really stingy to me. But but give me Cleveland. This should be the Nick Chubb MVP game. I hope Nick Chubb is the Josh Jacobs of this week. I just hope he just runs ramp shot all over Houston. As much as I don't hate the Texans, I really don't. I care more about my fantasy team.
I don't hate the Texans. Actually, I love them. I'm a big fan. Unfortunately, shit happens and they suck. And I'm not going to pick them over anybody. So give me Cleveland. Even in the week when they tied against the Colts, I don't care how bad the Colts were, they could play that game again. I'm still taking the Colts.
Yeah. This game here, this game actually has implications for the NFC and the AFC. Like, it's actually that big of a game. It is the Jets versus the Vikings. The Jets are still in the wild card. The Vikings are sitting at like the number 2 position currently in the NFC, but a loss by them gives room to another team in the NFC to get kind of closer. Like, if they lose, all of a sudden now they're 9-3, and the Niners beat the Dolphins, and the Niners become 8-4. It gets real interesting for that second spot.
I mean, the second spot ain't really worth shit no more because you don't get a bye week.
It doesn't matter, but you still get a. But it matters for this.
In the divisional round because you get another game home if you're the number 2 seed. And
yeah, and that's it. It matters for the sake of who you may play. But anywho, the game is at noon. It's not a primetime game, so you know if that makes you feel any better. I just think I like what Mike White's been doing, but I also think like this, the Vikings secondary can be had. Like, this is one of those sneaky games where like Mike White could bust your ass for 300 yards and multiple touchdowns. Because obviously Patrick Peterson is not the same guy he used to be. The Vikings are down to their 3rd, 4th, and 5th string corners in this game. And the Jets have pretty good receivers. Like, they do. But the Vikings also still have Dalvin Cook. They still have Justin Jefferson. But then now you got Justin Jefferson versus the Sauce Man.
Hey, could this finally be the week where the sauce fails?
I don't know. This is an interesting game. That's why I said that. The game is in Minnesota as well, so
I'm looking forward. This is one game I'm a illegally stream, I do believe, because I definitely want to see Sauce versus Justin.
Yeah. Well, the game's on CBS, but I don't. Well,
no, not locally here though, because we got the Texans.
Yeah, we'll get the Texans game. So I'll see. Yeah, so yeah. But the question is, who are you picking?
I'm gonna take the Vikings.
Okay.
I hate CJ that much.
I got you. I'm gonna stick with Minnesota, but I'm not. I have the same feeling about this game like I did last week with Jacksonville and Baltimore. I won't be surprised if the Jets pull this game
exactly
off. Like, that's kind of how I feel about this game. This next game is actually more important than the game we just talked about. This is a playoff/division implication type of game in the Commanders versus the Giants. Both teams, one is 7-5, one is 7-4. So this is actually an important game from that perspective.
Shout out to Taylor Heinicke. Taylor Heinicke has turned this damn team around. And the AFC, I mean, not the AFC, the NFC East is a force to be reckoned with.
Now, mind you, of course, the Eagles are 10-1, the Cowboys are 8-3, but a win by either of these teams and a loss by Dallas flips.
Yeah.
You know? So
well, the loss by Dallas is going to flip regardless because somebody has to win this game, and that somebody is going to be the G-men of New York. That's who's winning this game. Sorry, Taylor. You know I love you, brother. Yeah. I love you. But
give me Washington because of their run defense. I think they will slow Saquon down enough to where Daniel Jones has to throw more than he wants to, enough to turn the ball over. I think Taylor Heinicke
can throw somewhere between 22 to 25 passes, and that's all he has to throw. It'll be okay. But once you start getting into the 30s, you're probably going to lose this game.
Give me Taylor Heinicke getting some Jordan Retro 4 blue and red Jordans after beating the Giants.
I'm not going to lie. If Washington win, I'm going to have to personally inbox Taylor Heinicke and be like, say, bro, look, I've been your biggest fan on this damn podcast. Hopefully you read this message. I need some J's just like that.
I'm trying to tell you. All right, coming up. All right, we got this. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, this game would have been kind of cool. I don't really know how I feel about it now. It's kind of lost a little bit of its lure. But the Tennessee Titans visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to this is a revenge game for A.J. Brown. One. I like Derrick Henry just like the next individual, but I won't be surprised if this ends up being the blowout of the weekend. If I'm being completely honest, I'm taking Philly. I just think Philly has way too much offensive firepower for Tennessee.
Um, Here's what I'll say to that. Tennessee can't keep up with the scoring, which means Derrick Henry won't be able to run the freaking ball.
Yeah, like if Derrick Henry was to put up, I think 124 yards rushing, I still think Philly wins in spite of that.
Derrick Henry might put up 124 yards, but it's not going to be efficient.
Yeah,
It might be off of like, I mean, efficient is subjective, but people put up 125, 130 yards on 17 rush attempts because they break long. But he'd have to, it's going to be a workhorse kind of 124, somewhere around 24, 25 carries.
100%.
Which isn't bad because it's still over 4 carry when you look at Hall of Fame numbers. But when you look at just game time numbers, you got to run the ball 4 times to get 125 yards.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he'll be able to run that much because they're going to have to throw the ball.
To who? You going to throw it to Robert Woods or your rookie that just scored a touchdown last week, but he only scored it because Derrick Henry fumbled?
Listen. I don't know who Tennessee has at receiver. I don't know. I don't know.
I know they have Robert Woods.
I know they have Robert Woods. But other than Robert Woods, I don't know who they had. And Robert Woods, hate to say it, man. I love you.
Look, they have Robert Woods and a rookie, but
you made the wrong decision.
Yeah, the Rams could have used you right now. You would have definitely been you would have been one of the biggest pickups in fantasy after Cooper Kupp went down.
Nah.
But anywho,
Hill can't throw that ball.
That's true.
This is not a Tyreek Hill going to Tua.
No. All right, next up, you've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Rams. Personally, this game does not require much discussion for me. I am taking Geno Smith and company, especially after hearing the fact that Aaron Donald is also not playing on Sunday. So this should be the Kenneth Walker show tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm taking the same.
And Matthew Stafford is also still not playing. So you have a rookie. I barely know anything about this guy. I watched him play last week. He's not very good under pressure. And who the hell are you throwing the ball to? Tyler Higbee? He can't go for Travis Kelce numbers and expect to win a game. Like you have a rookie running back, Kyron Williams, and then Cam Akers. Because Van Jefferson clearly doesn't want to play and be the number one because he's not, Yes. So I know you did. So that's how I feel about that. Anyway,
I pulled a U on you, bastard.
All right. Well, he wasn't on my list of targets because I don't want anything to do with the Rams offense after my cup got broken. So, so that's just how I feel. My poor cup. So, arguably the most compelling game all weekend long as far as storylines go. The Miami Dolphins and the San Francisco 49ers, the number one defense in pro football versus a dark horse.
Not only number one defense, they're number one in everything on defense. I think except interceptions.
They're like tied for first in one category, but still. The question now becomes, can the number one defense stop a top 3 offense, top 5 offense? I don't know how I rank. We haven't talked about that on the show yet. We probably should. We haven't ranked offenses yet. We should probably do that next show.
I'll tell you what.
Because I like Miami's offense, but the Niners, look, Tua, despite that, Tua has been sacked a lot. Even against Houston, he was sacked. So if Fred Warner and company get home on Tua, so with all the above being said,
making my point. I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Give me San Francisco as well. If Miami wins, hey, the better team won on this day, but this should also.
You remember at one point, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp had the most yards for NFL receiving duo for like 3 straight seasons.
Yeah, and this year it's Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
That whatever they did is about to be broken. As long as Tua is healthy, it's going to be broken because Tyreek Hill is having a career year, but in the shadows, Tyreek Hill having a career year he is Jalen Waddle is having a freaking phenomenal season. This dude is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you love to see it. Even Mike Gesicki is really good tight end for this team. Having Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr., two good running back duo, excuse me. There's a lot of balance on the offense, and the defense is slowly but surely getting, rounded into form. They have the formula you need to be a Super Bowl team. You have an above average defense and you have a above average offense, kind of like you talked about with your formula. So they're in that, but San Francisco is in the same situation now, because this should be the Christian McCaffrey game tomorrow.
Let me ask you this.
Go for it.
Could this be a preview of the Super Bowl?
No.
I didn't think so, because I don't think Miami's going to the Super Bowl.
No, Miami's not beating Kansas City.
But
or they're also not, they're not beating Kansas City. Period. They're not beating. Like they're not even the best team in their own division.
True.
So now that's debatable. But right now, I still think the Bills are better by a small margin. Because I do think offensively, these are two very dangerous offenses that on any given Sunday could beat the other defense. Because both their defenses can be had. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
The Bills defense can be had ever since Micah Hyde won that shit. Still pisses me off.
Yeah. So this is another one of those for me that could be a top 3 potentially combined high scoring game, but I think the Niners defense will prevail and keep this a little more tempered. Which I hope so. I need some sacks. I need some interceptions, even though Tua doesn't throw interceptions very often, but I need like one. Just because San Francisco is my money league defense, and I would love an interception. But I'll take all the sacks you can give me too.
Well, Miami's one of my defenses. I'll take all the sacks you could give me, and won't be much, but what the fuck ever.
Yeah, because Jimmy G don't really get sacked. He gets rid of that ball pretty well. We got to give him his props on that.
He definitely sat behind Tom Brady, and you can tell. That man will throw the ball away.
Same with Jacoby Brissett. He's not very sacked. I mean, that quarterback room was pretty legendary at one point. Speaking of that, so Thursday night, they showed a picture of the Alabama quarterback room that at one point featured Jalen Hurts, Tua, and Mac Jones, all in the same quarterback room.
It's ridiculous.
And maybe 3 of the best Alabama quarterbacks to ever make it to the NFL.
That might be the 3 best.
Yeah. So next up for me is the game that I have circled as the highest combined scoring game of the entire weekend, and that is the Chiefs versus the Bengals. If you are starting either of these defenses, I would tread lightly, because you may end up with negative points. Because I have the Bengals defense at one point. I actually dropped. So in our money league, I had the Bengals. They were my defense for most of the year. I dropped them 2 weeks ago to pick up the San Francisco defense.
Why the hell is San Francisco available?
You're asking the wrong guy. I like to dig in waivers, and you know how I find stuff. So yeah, I picked them up, and they've been doing well for me. And Jamar Chase is supposed to play tomorrow as well. So both teams look like they're going to have their full complement of weapons.
The article about facing Justin Reed.
Mm-hmm. So,
oh boy,
this is going to be a game. It's going to be a game. And the Bengals do have a really good secondary when it comes to against receivers too. But I do think the Chiefs receivers can win. I don't know who's going to stop Travis Kelce. That's what I don't know.
You know what? I don't know who's going to stop Travis Kelce, but the Bengals did it before, dog. And I don't know.
They did. They did beat him in the playoffs. They beat him twice. They beat him twice last year. The Bengals beat the Chiefs twice last year.
Yes. I don't know what it is about Joe Cool, but he wins big games, and he wins big games, and he does what he does, but it ain't working this time, dog. I'm sorry. I'm taking Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is out on a mission to show it was an accident. They won twice last year. Yep. Patrick Mahomes gonna show up to play.
I'm with you. I'm taking Kansas City as well. Man, It's gonna be interesting though. So up next, I have my third. This is my other sneaky game that could be another extremely high scoring game.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders, division game action. So
What you said?
the Chargers at the Raiders.
Chargers at the Raiders.
So
I don't like division games, dog.
yeah, I know, but it's two bad defenses that love to give up points. So this could be a sneaky high scoring game. I know the Chargers do have Keenan Allen back. I do know Mike Williams is out tomorrow.
They can't keep a line for shit, boy.
But Justin Herbert is finally about as healthy as he's going to be all year. Austin Eckler is still Austin Eckler. So for me personally, it's tough because the Chargers have a very suspect run defense, and Josh Jacobs could run this game literally. Back on this division game shit.
You know what? Fuck it. Give me the Raiders.
All right. Give me the Chargers in a 5 field goal.
Okay.
This I don't know. I hate this. I hate AFC West division games probably more than most division games. Them in the NFC East. I hate those division games more than any other divisions. The AFC West is just so fucking confusing, and then the NFC East is just as fucking confusing. Even if the Giants are like 4-10, they could all of a sudden beat like a 10-6 Dallas team. Like it's just
That's that's bound to happen all the time.
Yeah, like it's just miss me with both of those divisions.
Have they already played the season?
Who?
The Chargers and Raiders.
I believe this is their. I don't know. Actually, let's find out. We got 7 minutes left. All right, I can tell you right now. Justin Herbert is my starting quarterback for CJ's league anyway. Yes, they played them at the opening week, 24-19.
Chargers won?
Yep, 24-19. So it was a close game.
I try to always lean the next way for division games. Like it's hard to beat somebody in division twice in a season. Unless you're playing the Texans, then it's really fucking easy.
Yeah. Well, at least that won't be the case when they play the Colts because it was a tie the first time.
It'll be some shit if they tie again.
That'll be the first and better be the only time in NFL history that shit ever happened.
I don't even have to look that shit up. I know it's gonna be the only time.
Bro, the fact that somebody could be something in 2. Now, I do believe, if I remember correctly, that wouldn't be the first time that a team had 2 ties. Because I do believe, I think it was Pittsburgh.
I think it was Pittsburgh too.
Because they had a tie with the Rams, and they had a tie with I was overseas. It was like 2000, like it was 2012 or 13.
It's not even like it's so long ago. Like it
was like 2012 or 2013 or something like that when that happened.
I remember Pittsburgh. I remember Pittsburgh tying twice.
I think it was the Rams and maybe the Giants that year, but I do remember I remember the Rams tie for sure. I remember the Rams tie for sure because I remember watching that game like being because I didn't understand the tie thing because that was still fairly new. The tie in the NFL games were new still at that time.
And it needs to go the fuck away.
100%. There should always be a winner. So
do all the game work during the week, and you're gonna tell me that we tied.
Exactly. So lock these picks in as it currently stands. We're still close. This will be good. We have 1, 2.
Should have 3.
We have 3. Yeah, we have 3 total, but we've already split that one. The New England Buffalo game, and then we've got LA, Las Vegas, and then we've got Washington, New York. Those are our 3 differences. Oh no, and Green Bay, Chicago. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Green Bay, Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the first one doesn't actually count anymore as a game to make up room since it already happened.
Yeah, so I'm already because I'm still down. I'm down 4.
Yeah, but if all your teams win, you'd be down 1.
True. That'll be ironic.
I think I do think it's going to start coming down to the wire.
I hope so. feel like I'm making good picks, but still got to play the
Besides,
game.
yeah, you're right. But I can already taste that nice old bottle of Hennessy coming to the door.
Well, it's gonna be even better after I get that bottle of TX whiskey first.
Yeah, okay.
I get you a small bottle of Hennessy as consolation.
Wow. Wow. Saturday, I see. Talking hella shit on a Saturday.
Hey, I'm finna eat my chorizo and egg tacos.
Homemade?
Now, taqueria arandas, man. You know how it is. If you from Texas, man, you got to get you an arandas one time for the one time.
Shit, I got chorizo on side. I might go cook that bitch up.
Hey, some good stuff.
Make some tortillas from scratch.
So that's what we got. Well, Tankathon hasn't changed very much, but we'll talk about that next week. We did not talk about on the podcast. We did not talk about our Hall of Fame conversation we were supposed to have. Hall of Fame and Hall of Very Good. Eli Manning versus Ben Roethlisberger. We did not talk about that, so we'll bring that up for the next episode. Sorry, we forgot about that. We didn't forget. We just the way this last episode was structured, we kind of didn't have room for it.
Yeah, we had a loaded show.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about for y'all who don't make podcasts and stuff. So because we're unscripted, our content is basically created almost for us based on articles that we read, that we find, or like things of that sort. Like we find all these things and then we bring them to you guys and we talk about them collectively. Like that's really and truly how we design, except for like the normal stuff. Obviously, you can get your power rankings from anywhere. We could also just do our own power rankings because it would be similar to what we already see anyway. But then we're always finding these random NBA stories or these NFL storylines. Like, we talked about the World Cup a little bit, which, by the way, the U.S. is not playing very good today. They gave up the most goals that they've given up combined since group play. They were down 3-1 last time I saw. So it looks like we're going home, one and done style. But how about Uruguay also going home? Bro, but Uruguay going home was a big one, too.
It was.
Because I'm like, man, that's one of my favorite World Cup teams. And I was like, damn, Uruguay's gone. Germany's gone. Mexico's gone.
I could not believe Germany lost. It blew my mind. Hey, this is I said France was going to win. So
we'll see. Speaking of upsetting losses, USC much? Bro, that just you opened the door really for Ohio State to get in. That's really what you did.
USC got blasted.
And you know what? And I knew something told me that something wasn't going to go right in that game because I seen something. I was going to send it to you and I forgot. On Bleacher Report, they had showed this little stupid ass article and it was like Caleb Williams that got like his nails done and it said like F Utah on it or whatever. And Utah beat the brakes off of y'all. That's a classic situation of what happens when you count your motherfucking chickens before they hatch. Bro, put the dub up before you talk all that hot shit, bro. This is your first year in USC. Like, you haven't done anything yet.
It's crazy because you remember earlier, it might have been a season. I think it was last season, probably season 3. I brought up Utah and I was like, Utah hasn't looked as good as they have in the past when they got bumped up to play larger teams, larger colleges. I was like, they haven't looked good. But there's still a team that's very good on any given day. They will beat you. And right on cue, doop doop, which means OSU will be back in the top 4.
So we ended at under a minute mark, so we got to find out if we can close out this show before we get kicked out. So I am your man, Mr. GQ, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm your boy, DJ Michael B.
Yeah.